Hey Insider, I hope you are all doing well. I decided to do yet another random live stream to take you through a practice that I go through with my mentees on board Success Side Academy. I'm going to take you through a segment of some of the questions that get asked every single week. And the reason why is I want you to realize this. Your level of success will only be determined by the level of the questions or how in-depth the questions you tend to ask yourself every single day or every single week for this matter. The reason why the successful people out there, the uber successful, are able to maintain their performance is because they are constantly checking in with themselves and asking themselves quality questions. I want you to write this down in the comments box below. The quality of the questions you ask yourself every single day dictates the quality of the answers. And what you ask yourself on a day-to-day basis will also dictate what you're focusing on. And what you focus on expands. And that's why today I'm going to take you through a series of questions, 5 in total, that will help you to review this week and help you to grow and not repeat the same mistakes you've been experiencing. Because I want you to realize this: failure is never an accident, nor is success. There are always plenty of warning signs that lead you to fail. And what this will allow you to do is, therefore, wake yourself up. How many of you ever experienced a failure in your life before? If so, by the way, be sure to interact with me and comment yes. Because the reason why failures happen is because you didn't wake yourself up enough. You didn't check in with yourself enough. One of the things my private clients always say to me is, Tim, one thing I always get from your sessions is I get to exactly see what's holding me down. As a great saying goes, in order for you to fly, you got to let go of the things that's weighing you down right now. And this is what this session today will help you to do. Okay, so let's just quickly go through these questions. 5 questions in total. Be sure to interact with me in order for you to lock this into your subconscious mind. That way you'll be able to achieve more in the upcoming week. The first question is this: what's been the biggest failure or pitfall I experienced this week? Think about everything you've done this week. What's been the biggest failure that you experienced? And by the way, in terms of priority, this is in regards to the goals that you've got for this year. So what's your most important goal? The one goal you really want to make a reality. Maybe for those of you who are in business right now, that could be a financial figure you're looking to hit. Maybe some of you want to improve your health, your relationship. What's your one goal? And let me ask you, in regards to that, the first question is, what's been the biggest failure or pitfall you experienced this week in relation to the goal you're looking to accomplish? Maybe you didn't make any sort of progress towards the goal. If that's the case, by acknowledging it right now, you're about to let it go. By becoming aware of your blind spots, you're about to wake yourself up. This is why the uber successful people, they just sit down and just ask themselves these coaching questions. And so we're going through it live right now. So be sure to basically post in the comments box below. Even if you're not watching this live, it's totally fine. Just post in the comments box below and I'll be reviewing later on. Okay, so think about that. What's been the biggest failure or pitfall I experienced this week? By the way, where are you also tuning in from? I'm very curious to know. Okay, that's the first question. The second question is this: what's the one risk you need to take that you have been resisting this week? What's the one risk that you need to take that you have been resisting this week? Remember, your level of success will never exceed the amount of uncertainty that you can comfortably handle. That's a beautiful quote by Tony. And I can't tell you how true this is. If you look at people who have reached extraordinary amount of results in their life, they're able to handle chaos in their life. They're able to remain calm amongst all of the chaos. You know, it's funny because people sometimes say to me, Tim, I'm having so much stress in my one business. But if you think about Richard Branson managing a portfolio of hundreds of businesses, realize he's no different to you and I. He's a human being. So what creates external chaos is internal chaos. Everything is inside, and that's what you're broadcasting on the outside. So think about, what's the risk that you're holding back on right now? Because let me ask you, do you have to take a lot of risk in your life in order for you to become successful? Do you have to take some risks? Yes or no? You bet. So what's the one risk you need to take that you have been resisting this week? Let me know in the comments box below. What is that for you? Maybe for some of you, you're still holding back on putting yourself out there. I remember when I was came across this whole world of YouTube and so forth. I was just so scared of camera, just like being on camera and so forth. And this was like, what was it, like 11 years ago when YouTube was up and coming. And I was just like, oh, maybe I should postpone it. But we're now living in a video era where video is compulsory. I'm not sure about you, but if you're scared using this stuff, you got to get great at this. I mean, you got to practice every single day. I was so scared when I began, but now, every day just going and battling through my resistance, I've now been able to become very comfortable with this process. What is it for you? What are you most resisting in your life right now? Let me know. The third question is this. If there was one thing I could change in my life to lift it to its highest level, what would that one thing be? Beautiful question, right? If there was one thing I could change in my life to lift it to its highest level, what would that one thing be? Don't think about too much. You want to just write your intuitive response to this. So post it in the comments box below, and I'll read some out also. So post in the comments box below, if there was one thing I could change in my life to lift it to its highest level, what would that one thing be? Maybe that's to do with your personal development. Maybe you could be more confident. But what does confidence look like in your life? Maybe for some of you, you got to take more financial risk. Maybe for some of you, you got to interact with more people. Maybe you're an introvert, kind of like me. What would that be? For those of you who've never experienced it, by the way, coaching or whatever, you're probably thinking, oh, why is Tim pausing so much? It's basically allowing you to just think and ponder. We're living in such a distracted society today where more people are focused on entertainment than they are working on themselves and improving their own life. Remember, if you do what vast majority of people do, you'll get the results that vast majority of people get, which is frankly mediocre and average. So remember to always be focused on education opposed to entertainment, right? So let's go on to the fourth question, which is, what can I do right now to make my week less stressful? Think about the things that's caused you stress this week. Maybe in your business, if you're looking to start a business, maybe something's happened, maybe some clients annoyed you, or maybe at work. What was it that you got really stressed about this week? And what can you do right now, straight after this video, that will make your week less stressful? What can you do right now to make your week less stressful? What does that really look like? So think about what your subconscious mind right now is answering as soon as I'm asking these questions, okay? This is a practice, by the way. I suggest every single one of you. I know a lot of you already probably do it because this is something I've been encouraging for a long time. But when you review yourself every single week like this, you're growing. Because remember, the moment you stop growing, you're dying. And most people, frankly, are busy dying opposed to busy living, as a great quote says, right? So you got to make sure that you're reviewing yourself consciously every single week, every single day once you get to that level, right? But do it. It's hard. But you know what's harder? Failing, right? Isn't that true? So make sure that you just keep on asking yourself these questions. And I know it makes you ponder. Some of you have never done it, but just give it a shot. You know, one thing I've noticed is the 1% act very different from everybody else. When I made this into a habit, I struggled at the start, but afterwards I realized why it's so powerful. Okay, so I'm going to go through the final question, and then we're going to quickly wrap up there. So final question is, knowing what I now know, what's the one thing I commit to taking action on? Knowing what I now know, what's the one thing I commit to taking action on? So think about all of the questions I've asked you. Knowing what you now know, what's the one thing you're going to go out there and do? What is that going to be for you? Post it in the comments box below. and do whatever it takes to commit to it. What's the best way to commit? Tell a lot of people. Tell a lot of people that you trust. Tell them this will happen. I will make the change. Because one thing's for sure, if you haven't made the change yet, that change will not happen tomorrow. If you're telling yourself a story that one day things will change for you, make that one day, day one. It starts today. If you're struggling right now with maybe self-esteem, discipline, lack of productivity, consistency, whatever it may be, stress, realize the changes needs to happen today. Stop waiting for life to change. Change yourself. Stop waiting for people to change. Change yourself. Stop focusing on things you can't control. Control yourself. There's a lot of things, remember, that's outside of your control. Sometimes you don't even have a control of what things happen to you, but you do have a control of how you're going to respond to it. So as you go off today inside that, I wish you absolute best. Commit to somebody and just do whatever it takes to make your life truly worth living. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know in the comments box below your responses to these questions. And as always, Insider, follow your heart and take action and live the life you're truly born to live. See you very soon. Take care.